Hey guys, it's me. Sorry I haven't been around for a while, it's been a busy year. But don't worry, it's the holidays now, so I'm back!
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Amen.
I should probably give a mention to you guys on the wiki. Yeah, I know you've all been asking for a new upload, you can stop spamming me now. Now that it's the holidays, I have more time to be more active on my uploads, so expect some new content. Anyway, let's get into the video. I had my school camp on the 7th of September. Every kid who's been in middle school knows that every year you have one camp. This year, our school's camp was almost cancelled by Corona, but they managed to squeeze it in at the last minute. Everyone was excited, but as with many things this year, it turned out to be a lot more interesting than we all anticipated. The craziness started before we even set off with the packing. The school sent out a list for what equipment to bring, so we were all scrambling around to buy the stuff we needed. There was just one small missed out detail. The list assumed a winter camp, which meant lower temperatures. Remember when I said camp was almost cancelled? Instead, it got delayed by 4 months. That 4 months was enough to push the camp out of winter and into spring. So imagine bringing 5 kilograms of extra clothes and jumpers out to 20-degree and above weather. To make matters worse, our camp was out in the Flinders Ranges, which is an outback mountain range. That adds at least an extra 5 degrees to your average temperature. So yeah, fun. We had to get to school before sunrise to beat the morning traffic, so everyone was suffering from sleep deprivation, boredom, and of course, bad hair. We weren't going to be doing any modeling anytime soon. When everyone was checked off, we boarded the bus and set off. The ride was like your usual school bus trip, with lots of screaming, yelling, Backstreet Boys karaoke, and waving to strangers on the road. But things got especially interesting about 3 hours in, when everyone started to doze off. After the first person fell asleep, someone pulled out a bag of twisties and we all immediately knew what was up. The rule after that was, doze off and get a free twisty up your nose. The first guy to get twisty slept for about 30 seconds with one up his nose. The second guy had one in each nostril and somehow slept for a whole minute before waking up. I was a lucky one, because I caught my shut-eye before the twisty wars began, so I was safe. But my friend, who is a scumbag, swore on his life to get a twisty up my nose before the end of camp. Spoiler alert, he didn't. Once we got to camp, we put down all our stuff under this big metal shelter. The campsite was pretty barren, save for a toilet block and the shelter. We had to wait for another hour before we started camp activities, because one of the teachers blew a tire on the way. When he finally arrived, everyone got a look at his tire, and it looked like he ran into a really angry echidna on the road. Our class's first activity was what we called the solo night, which is where everyone gets a tent, gets dropped off somewhere within the campsite, and strikes out on their own for the night. For preparation, we got one short run-through of how to set up a tent, and then we were supposed to remember how to set it up until about 4 hours later. I don't know if I'm just stupid, but I thought that was a little bit too much for a first time camping. Then we came to the best part, cooking. My friend and I were the only Asians in our class, so we were flexing our huge culinary guns on all our classmates. I cooked curry on the first night, which we were showing off to our friends, who could only think of pasta and instant mac and cheese. Now that's when you feel proud of a foreign heritage. Finally, it was launch time for solo night. We all grabbed a tent pack and our gear and walked over to the road. The plan was for a van to come by and take us in small groups out into some nearby area, where one by one we would get dropped off and set up camp. We were supposed to get dropped off before the sun set so that we would have some light, but by the time my group got in the van, it was pitch darkness. And when I got out of the van, I couldn't see anything past my feet. All I had was a small torch and the dwindling starlight to help me see. I had about half an hour to set up camp before night really set in, after which I would most definitely be dead. So, was this the end? Was I doomed to sleep out open in the wild? Will our hero live to see the next day? Nobody calls you hero. Nobody asked you!